How many of you like to go hiking? You like to walk. You're walkers. Well, in Jesus' day, in biblical times, they didn't have cars. Not a lot of them had chariots. The Romans did at that time, but most of the people they walked. And in this moment, Jesus is going for a walk from Jericho to Jerusalem. And this is a very significant walk. This is in the Christian calendars. We're going to be celebrating Easter soon. This was very critical and crucial to Jesus' plan coming to earth. This is where he was walking into Jerusalem to offer himself, to die on the cross, and then in 3 days be raised back to life. But he was going to pay the ultimate penalty for our sin. And so he's on this walk. It's probably about between 18 and 20 miles that this walk is going to be. But as he's leaving Jericho and he's coming and he's beginning his journey to Bethlehem, or to Jerusalem, this man starts yelling at him. He starts yelling, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." I kind of think about this if you were maybe at a sporting event and you were wanting to get an autograph from one of your favorite players, or you're at a concert and your favorite singer or band is up on stage and you're screaming their name. This is kind of like this. Jesus kind of had this rock star persona going for him. They knew about him. They knew that this guy changed people's lives, could do miracles. This guy in the story, his name is Bartimaeus. In fact, he's known in the scriptures as blind Bartimaeus. He can't see. And he's yelling, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." What's interesting to note here is the language he's using. He's saying Son of David. Well, on earth, he was the son of Joseph. So what does this mean? Well, it means that he was from the same lineage of David. He's a son of David. He comes from David's family line. Jesus came from the line of David. And have mercy on me. He's crying out, he's yelling, screaming, "Would you just acknowledge me that I have a need, and that would you come and help me with this need?" And there's people that they came and they're like, "Dude, just simmer down, relax. He's got more important things to do. He's going to Jerusalem. This is just little Jericho. You're just a guy. Just leave him alone." But this doesn't silence him. And in fact, he yells even louder, "Come on, Jesus, would you just pay attention to me, please? Nobody else will give me the time of day. Will you give me the time of day?" Jesus stops everything and he says, "Bring the guy here. Bring him to me." And he comes and he's in front of Jesus, face to face with Jesus. But remember, he can't see him, but he knows that he's there. And Jesus, what he would ask many people this question: "What do you want?" Maybe today you find yourself in a situation, maybe it's not blindness, but you're in a situation. You're in trouble. Maybe you need a healing. Maybe you just need a miracle in your life. And you now have Jesus standing in front of you going, "What do you want?" And he's asking you a pointed question: "What do you want?" And this guy, Bartimaeus, he's blind. And I think Jesus knew that. He's Jesus. I think he had an idea that maybe this guy couldn't see, but he's still asking him, "What do you want?" And he says, "I want to see." Jesus hears him, and Jesus, he hears when you ask him things. And you might think, but I'm too far from him. I've done too many bad things in my life. There's no way that Jesus would ever answer what I would say to him. Yes, he will. We don't know where this guy stood with Jesus. We don't know if he even had a relationship with him. But he knew Jesus, and he knew enough to say, I want to see. And Jesus tells him, okay, go. Your faith has made you well. See, what's amazing here is that Jesus does a double healing in this guy's life. He tells him that you have had enough faith in me. You have come before me. You have believed in me. You acknowledge who I am in your life. You are now saved and you are now healed. He heals the man spiritually and he heals the man physically. And as blind Bartimaeus begins to go, he now begins to see the world for the very first time. He sees everything around him and it is changing his perspective. And when we encounter Jesus and when he opens up our eyes and we begin to see for the first time what he can do in our life, we are like this man in awe and wonder. And it tells us that blind Bartimaeus decided that day, I am going to follow Jesus. See, when you encounter Jesus, that should be our only response. When he has set us free, when he has saved us, when he has healed us, whatever he has done in your life, your first response should then be, I am going to follow you, Jesus. And what's interesting to remember is where Jesus was going. Jesus was leaving Jericho. He was going to Jerusalem to go in and surrender his life for all of us to have salvation. What he did in this man, this blind Bartimaeus, he was now going to do for the entire world and the world to come. For all humanity. He was risking his life. And this meant danger. This meant people are not going to like him. Oh yeah, there's going to be that time as they ride into Jerusalem and people are yelling praises, but in just a few days, they're going to be yelling, crucify him. And I wonder how far Bartimaeus went with Jesus. Did he follow him all the way to the cross? I don't know. History doesn't tell us, but in this moment, at this time, it tells us that he followed Jesus. And I want you to know, when your eyes have been opened, when you see the wonder of who Jesus is, your only response should be, today, I am going to follow Jesus.